Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. Today I will show you another tutorial for angel dust from the series Hazbin Hotel, as I am not quite satisfied with the one I did last year and I changed parts of my makeup and like it so much better, so I don't want you to not know about these changes and have the better tutorial accessible for you as well. I hope you enjoy and let's get going! I start off by applying my tape along my cheekbones and give myself a bit of a facelift to look snatched for the further process. I also always make sure that I don't have any creases or folds in my skin underneath the tape, just to prevent irritation. I then continue to do the same thing on my eyebrows, just not as much because I still want to be able to move all of my facial muscles. And yeah, I only do that because I do have hooded eyes and it makes applying makeup so much easier in my opinion. Yeah. Here we go, applying some primer just all over my face like a cream. I usually let it dry for a few minutes just because I figured it mixes with my makeup pretty badly and gets greasy if I don't. On to my foundation, which I mentioned before already. I'm having the double lasting foundation from Etude House. I like it very much, it's very high covering and therefore I also apply it all over my face with a sponge. You can use a brush or just whatever feels good to you. I usually don't like using my hands. I know there are people who get decent results with that as well. So just take whatever you like, what fits your style and look, and go ahead. Of course, you can also take a way more natural foundation or even face paint, just whatever fits your needs and style, as I said. Continue with some concealer that I apply to my eye bags especially, and any red or dark spots that I don't like. It also gives a bit of a highlighting effect if you take a concealer that is a little lighter than your actual skin tone, which I would recommend. Also, I have one of the same brand as my foundation, so they work pretty well together, but once again, whatever works for you, whatever feels good for you is completely valid. I then blend it as well and make sure it looks very even and well mixed with the foundation, because we don't want to look like we put 10 layers of makeup in our face. Even if we did, it shouldn't look that way, you know? So make sure it's smooth and blended and looks good. And then continue with the powder. I have the Cosplay powder, which I love a lot, but I'm honestly not sure if you can buy it in Germany. So I simply applied that all over my face as well, because I prefer a matte finish, and especially for angel dust, where I'm also drawing on my face, I like it best. On to the eyeshadow. I take that pink eyeshadow I showed previously and apply it all over my upper eyelid and lower eyelid alongside my eye socket, not only on my lid because I have hooded eyes and that will not be visible. Also, it gives a way more three-dimensional look to extend it a bit outwards with the lighter tone especially. On to the eyeliner. I draw a line from the inner corner of my eye towards the outer corner. Make sure it looks nice and even and straight. And then continue on to extend it outwards in a wing, as you can see here. It also follows the shape of the eyeshadow we applied before. I'm not sure if you can see that, but the end kind of matches the end of the eyeshadow. And I'm also going to elongate my inner corner with the same eyeliner. The goal here is to have the wing a little bit upturned to give a kind of nicer looking, like smiley type of vibe from your eye shape, and also have a base for the white mascara we're going to use later. So I want to have a black line over my waterline in order to make it show up better. And I only extend the inner corner because I feel like it looks more balanced, especially with my eye shape. So yeah, that's what I'm doing. I then grab my kohl liner and fill in my upper waterline because that just works pretty well for me and gives my eyes a more snatched look. If you can't do it, leave it. pink shade, we then increase the shade of our upper eyeshadow to give more depth and a more snatched and nice gradient blended appearance. I do the same thing underneath, just that there I extend the color way more towards the inner corner. Stupidly said, I feel like if you have eye bags, draw your eye bags. Put the pink in your eye bags, and honestly, at least from my experience, it will look better than just having actual eye bags and trying to cover them up naturally. Here, another layer, another darker pink shade. I'm basically doing the same thing I did before, creating somewhat of a cut crease illusion with the shape I'm creating here. Only on the lower line I make sure that the outside is way darker than the inside and just blend it a little towards it, not applying the full color all over it anymore. We then grab our eyeliner again and draw a small curved hook from the outer corner of our eye towards the middle along of our lower lash line, because that will round up the look more. Like you see, we have that dark eyeliner on top. We also need something on the bottom to make it balanced and really create that three-dimensional shape we want. With a much smaller brush and another darker pink shade, I am then going to increase and define the shades even further. I shade along the black again to add depth and do the same thing on top with the crease. In general, you could say there are two basic rules. The closer it is to your eyeliner, like to the darkest spot of your makeup, and the further it is on the outer corners, the darker your eyeshadow should be. While I've been in Japan the last time, I got my hands on this very round small brush, and it is so perfect to drawing the circles that Angel Dust has in his face. Well, his eyes, you know, but like these are not eyes, you get what I mean. So I simply take the same dark pink shade and draw these dots alongside my tear bags to once again cover up my eye bags a little more, and it just looks good that way. I then grab my favorite glitter, this is such a game changer, and highlight the inner corners of my eye. And with the lighter eyeshadow, make sure to blend it towards the rest of the eyeshadow, because that just will give a way nicer appearance. I also use it to highlight, as you can see here. Highlighter placement is vastly different from person to person, so if it doesn't work out to do it the way I'm doing it here, look up your face shape, look up tutorials, there are a bunch of those outside. I love contrast, so to increase the contrast, I am drawing a line, as you can see here, with the glitter, because my makeup style is all about contrast and adding depth and getting a bit of three-dimensionality in there, so that's what I'm doing, and it works well. I then apply it to my cut crease as well, just to have a bit more of that drag look that Angel Dust goes for, and apply a bit of sparkles on the dots as well, because I realized when I'm doing TikToks or pictures, they reflect really nicely, and I like that. Onto the white mascara I spoiled before. It is just mascara, I apply it all over my eyelashes. It can be that you need multiple layers, like with mine as well, it takes a while to show up. But in general, it is just that. I'm just applying mascara. Also, stay hydrated, y'all. If you finished your eye makeup, drink a glass of water, because the moment you're going to do your lips, you will not do it again. And I'm guilty of that as well. I then continued by applying some contouring in a pink shade, because I just think that matches Angel Dust very well. Once again, contouring really depends on your face shape, so if this placement doesn't work for you, go look it up. I also like putting some eyeshadow over my nose bridge to add a bit of a blush, because it looks cute, but that's just an add-on because I enjoy doing it. Afterwards, I elongate the corners of my mouth with my black eyeliner. I think especially today I used a lot of it and also traced the outline of my upper lip with it because I'm going to record a dance cover and I wanted to stick all evening long. In general, I just will fill in my upper lip in black to match like Angel Dust's appearance. I just think it's pretty common to do that among other cosplayers as well. And then I fill in the rest with black eyeshadow because my eyeliner is quite expensive and I honestly just don't want to use that much of it. You can use whatever is black and doesn't stain on your lower lip though. I then use a pink shade that we also used before already for my lower lip to just add some color to it. And grab my favorite lip tint to increase the shade and make it look a little more lipsticky, you could say. In retrospective, I think you wouldn't have needed the eyeshadow, to be honest. But, well, I tried, and that's the finished look. I wanted to fill in my eyebrows with black, but sadly I couldn't find my eyeshadow. It was just gone. I don't know. So I continued with the contouring and suddenly realized that there was some black eyeshadow left on it. Well, mistakes happen. Just keep going, roll with it, I guess. But in general, I would rather use my cool toned brown just to add some definition to my face. At this point I was a bit in a hurry, so my wig is not properly glued down, but this is the finished result. Check out my dance cover of something. I will put it in the info cards, and thank you so much for watching.